everybody. Thank you so much for listening. We're the Real Pineapple. This is Hunter here, and I'm back with Colin. Colin, it is so good to hear your sexy Irish brogue. How are you, sir?
I'm good. It's good to be back with you and all our wonderful listeners here.
So I was kind of explaining what happened recently. I want to give a shout out again to the lovely, I believe it was Beta R, if memory serves. She was a lovely woman at Microsoft who actually cared about me getting my microphone working again because Windows 10 has been terrible for audio. And she spent an hour and a fucking half like working through my computer, getting it fixed. And even she's like, yeah, Windows 10's been like messing up a lot of like stuff, and so she's like, yeah, let me just remote connect and I'll take care of it for you. And this is after I spoke to 5 other goddamn people who were like, oh yeah, we'll remote connect if you pay us $150. And I was like, yeah, you can lick my ball sack, I'm not paying you guys a goddamn red cent. He's like, this is a bullshit thing with your goddamn operating system, fucking fix it. So sorry. But I digress. So thank you so much. You were amazing. And anytime I have another issue with Microsoft, which will inevitably happen, I will definitely be chatting with you. So want to give her a shout out.
Yeah. Unrelated, this podcast is brought to you by Apple.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Apple, come on. I'll get an Apple desktop. I'll totally talk about how wonderful Apple is and the iPhone and how those new Bluetooth headphones aren't overly priced, expensive, or I'll totally. I will totally talk about Apple and Apple TV. Actually, I do like Apple TV, but anyways. So I digress. But I'm curious because we are actually making history with our podcast tonight because this is the first movie that we're reviewing that I have not seen.
That's right. Yeah, forgot about that.
Yeah, we're talking about it, and just let old Uncle Hunter just fill you in here. So, Colin has known me for more than half my life. God damn, that's crazy. Colin's known me for 18 years.
Way too long.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know. I'm the worst type of friend, but Colin has known for several things that have been consistent about me. I love comic books. I love Marvel. I love white women with big asses, and I hate clowns. If Colin has learned nothing else about me,
not necessarily in that order, but
yeah, probably the white girl thing will be number one. But I've hated clowns since I was a kid. I still remember being like 4 and being at the Bakersfield Carnival and turning my head and this clown was right in my face asking if I wanted cotton candy. I started fucking screaming. Like, clowns have always fucking freaked me out. I still remember Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah.
On Snick.
And it was good clown.
God, what was the clown's name? Zappo or Zongo, some shit like not Zongo.
Zongos.
Yeah,
Zongos in the house.
that's Slam and Salmon. That's
perfect movie.
But yeah, damn right, a perfect movie. But I remember, that clown was like, "You stole my nose, I'm coming to get it." And I was like, "All right, yeah, fuck clowns."
That was a creepy one. Yeah, I forgot about that one. That's a good one.
Yeah, so clowns have genuinely. Okay, just to bring it like even closer. When I was 19, I was volunteering at our youth group at the church we used to go to. I won't mention it here because I'm sure if they heard that, they're like, "Oh, great, he's talking about us in a negative way." But anyways, I was volunteering for their youth group, and we went to this like little carnival type thing, and fucking Pennywise was there, and he kept following me around with a goddamn red balloon, going like, "You'll flip too." And I finally looked at him, I was like, "I will punch you in the fucking face. Get away from me."
That's incredible. I'm sure that guy probably did get punched in the face.
I'm sure he did. I hope he did.
Yeah.
And I remember Kyle, the youth pastor at the time, was like, "Yeah, that's really cool. You cuss in front of all the kids." I'm like, "I'm sorry." It's like, hunters don't do clowns. So, believe me when I say clowns are the worst. And I haven't even watched a trailer for this. I've seen stills of the movie. I went, "Yep, fuck that. Not seeing it."
Yeah,
so,
in fact, Hunter and I were in the movie theater about to see Ingrid Goes West, and Hunter could just sense it. The new preview was coming on, and he could just tell that it was the It preview. And man, if you could have seen this guy sprinting out of that theater, And he was like, I'm not coming back in until I know it's over.
And I didn't.
No, yeah. Okay, so I can attest to that. He has not even seen the trailer.
Yeah, I was like the fucking Flash. I was like Wally West. It was impressive.
Like right before the movie was coming out, were you bombarded with with advertisements online? Like if you're trying to watch a YouTube video or something, were you constantly being bombarded by Pennywise coming out of nowhere?
Dude, to put in perspective, man, there was a fucking trailer during Monday Night Football last night.
Yeah, there was. Yeah,
and luckily, my friend, she covered my eyes. She's like, yeah, I know you want to. I'm like, you're goddamn right. Like, I saw a still of Pennywise. It looks like it's at the end of the movie because he's in the sewer and he's all grimy and he's like reaching out, and I was like, oh my god, that's fucking horrifying. So I've been trying very hard to stay away from just anything involving this goddamn movie. But I will admit, I did see the original of Tim Curry. I didn't sleep for like 6 months, but I do remember seeing that. I remember it just being genuinely, just quite the mindfuck. I've heard honestly nothing, mostly good things about this. So I mean, yeah, kind of jump into the plot here with me, Colin. Like, what was this about?
So this is based off of the classic novel by Stephen King, of course. And to give you a little background of my history with it, because I do have a history with it. Even when I was a young boy, my dad had a big hardcover copy of it that always sat on the bookshelf in the study where I would go and watch like cartoons after school, like when I was in grade school. And I remember it, like I would just glance up at it and I was like, I have to like not even look at it. Sometimes I would put stuff in front of it, like if I think I remember seeing that Are You Afraid of the Dark episode actually, and I was like, I have to cover up the It book because I would look at it and right on the cover of the book there's Pennywise reaching out from the gutter. Just, kind of famously how it's been done in the first iteration of the screen version of the Stephen King story. And then now, of course, you have it too. So, I mean, as a kid, like, I was terrified. And I only saw bits and pieces of when it was on TV, the first version, because it scared me so bad I couldn't watch it. Like, I was terrified. And I think the fact that I didn't watch it, like, I built it up in my own head to be even scarier than it probably ever even was. So, like, it was always, like, one of the scariest things, like, ever to me. So the fact that, like, they remade this, like, it sent chills down my spine when I heard that they were going to make this remake, because I knew I was going to go see it. One, to review it, but two, I was just so curious, and I had built it up in my own head for so long that I felt compelled that I just had to see this movie, finally. And let me tell you, I really did build it up in my head like crazy. I mean, don't get me wrong, this movie has a lot of really horrifying parts in it, and some really big scares, some classic jump moments where, if you get it's just been quiet for a little bit too long, and then something, Pennywise or something will jump out at you. But to get into the plot, this movie focuses around a group of children called the Losers, the Loser Group, or Squad, or something like that. But this whole movie is based around this group of friends that have come together. They're all a bunch of losers. They're all bullied in their own way, and they all have a dark fear, something haunting them that they deal with on a daily basis. And the way the story plays out is that there's this. It's all happening in a small town, and there's this legend, this big story of how, and I'm probably gonna get this wrong, but I think it's something like 27 years ago.
Yeah, I believe that's right.
There was a lot of murders, especially of children, and one of the kids even brings to light, the statistics of murder, like for population, like the percentages. like were far bigger in this small town than anywhere else, and certainly in that year, 27 years ago. So now that it's been 27 years, we start with our main character, who's played. I'm trying to get this right with the character here. It's the Denbrough. Yeah, Bill Denbrough. His little brother Georgie is out on a rainy day, and he falls to the clutches of it. That kind of begins this whole story. So
that's with the boat, right? The sailboat, or whatever.
Yeah. So he has the little sailboat, and he's playing with the sailboat. It's a really rainy day. He's got his rain jacket on. I mean, it's creepy as fuck already. And the sailboat goes a little too bit far and falls down the gutter. So Georgie runs up to the gutter, and sure enough, there's Pennywise. You meet him for the first time right then at the start, and he comes up very, it's clearly creepy to see a clown in the gutter.
Yes.
But he's so friendly and so nice to Georgie that he lures him closer and closer enough to come and actually grab the boat. And if you saw the movie, you know what happens next.
Dumb kid. Just goddamn it, man. Creepy ass clown in the gutter. It's like, oh sure, it's more afraid of you than you are of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and so really, like, to start off of like why this movie did such a great job, a lot of the credit goes to Skarsgård.
Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah, Bill Skarsgård, who's the son of Stellan Skarsgård, who's been
and the brother of Alexander Skarsgård.
Yeah, and we know Stellan Skarsgård. He's been in the Marvel movies, especially the Thor movies. But dude, Bill Skarsgård, that dude is so creepy. He does the most amazing like version of Pennywise that you could ever have possibly asked for. Like, he is so creepy. Like, he goes from like this like, innocent like nice voice to like fangs, like 5 layers of fangs coming out, like, to absolute insane crazy horror. And yeah, he's awesome. He like it's like the type of like performance you wish you would have gotten from the Joker in Suicide Squad, which we didn't get.
No. I will say, Bill Skarsgård, he was on Conan. I fucking love Conan. If you're listening, have us on your show. We fucking love you. But I was watching Conan, and Bill Skarsgård was on there, and he just did the Pennywise smile, and I was like, even without makeup, that's fucking horrifying. I'm like, good God. I was like, I will never see that movie. Like, I was thinking about what it would take for me to see it, and I would have like the most ridiculous demands. I'd be like, all right, you need to give me like $100,000, and Scarlett Johansson has to tit fuck me for like a month straight. Like I won't.
Wait, what is Scarlett Johansson would tit fuck you?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, so I mean, if I could watch it while that was happening, I could probably get through it, but I would still be terrified. So
yeah,
I probably couldn't get hard. But anyways,
that's funny you mentioned that Conan interview too, because after I saw the movie, I was so impressed with the his portrayal of Pennywise that I went and watched a lot of those interviews, and I saw that one, and some of the stories he was telling about working with all these little kids. Like, I think it was Conan that was asking him the question, but he was just like, I mean, are these kids all traumatized now that they had to go act, apart from you in these horrifying scenes where Pennywise is about to, like, murder them? And he told a story about when he was acting, I forget which young actor he was talking about, but he was saying it was like an inch from his face, and I was like yelling and talking in this demonic voice and like right in his face, and it was so intense. And afterwards, he's like, "Are you okay?" And the little kid was just like, I love what you're doing with the character right now. This is awesome. That's just crazy. Yeah, these kids are so Hollywood now. It's crazy. But saying that, I have to say, like, as good as Bill Skarsgård was, and how good Pennywise was, and how scary it was, and authentically, terrifying to watch this movie, all of that, like, makes this movie, like, an awesome watch, especially if you're a horror fan. But even better than that I really loved the movie for, was that you got, like, a genuine type of, like, stranger than fiction, kind of like Sandlot, young, coming-of-age story with all these kids. And, I mean, they were funny, man. Like, this is, like, some of the funniest, like, child acting I've ever seen. Like, these... Really? Yeah, these, like, especially... I'm trying to find the one guy's name. I think his character was Stanley. But, no. He was more serious. But yeah, a couple of these characters, especially one, they're saying the raunchiest shit, like, the whole time. Like, saying, like, suck my balls, and, like saying, like, stupid fucking clown, like, eat my dick, like, all this stuff. Like, it was, like, the most R-rated kids, like, dialogue I've ever heard.
That's great.
And it was hilarious. And that's why I think I mentioned this to you once after I saw it, and I'm like, it's a shame that, like, this movie is about a horrifying clown, because I know that you would really appreciate, like, the movie inside of, like, because there's, like, a great coming-of-age movie that would be, like, one of the best indie movies of the year if it wasn't attached to this, like, giant Stephen King novel horror movie. But it happens to be taking place in probably the least likely film that you'll ever watch because of this horrifying clown. But if you ever mustered the courage to watch it, I know you would really, really like the story that plays out through these kids.
Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Just hearing you talk about how horrifying Pennywise is, like, I, like, felt my neck, my pulse going up, and good God, like, I will say one thing about this movie is, and I don't think we've talked about this really on the podcast, but between Get Out and Split, in this, horror movies are cleaning up this year.
They're good. They're all good.
But that's, and because I was actually talking to someone about it the other day, and they're saying, well, why do you think this did so well and The Dark Tower didn't? I was like, first off, The Dark Tower wasn't very good, and I'm basing this just off of fucking stills, but the stills I saw Pennywise, I was like, okay, I'm immediately fucking terrified, like, just from jump. And clowns are scary. I think the only thing scarier than clowns are mimes, because mimes don't speak, and I think that's just creepy. But it seemed like Bill Skarsgård, I've read a couple reviews, they said this is a career-making role. Like, he just fucking nails it. Do you feel like this could, like, make him, like, really, like, raise his status, like, his level of, like, stardom? Like, is he that good in it? Or
I think so. And I would say this. I would say the next big thing that he's coming out with, as long as it's not too crazy artsy and indie, I feel like he's gonna draw, like, a big audience. I feel like a lot of people have the opinion of, like, man, like, some people might not have done the research to find out, like, who was playing it, and, like, oh yeah, it's the son and brother of these other actors, like, it's coming from this incredible acting family. And I think I know the next thing he comes out with, I want to see it, like, right away. Especially, like, this dude should be playing, like, whatever, he should be getting the next big, like, psychological thriller, like, villain role, like, because this guy he's creepy. He's got that, like, I can, just listening to him in interviews after the fact, this guy could play, like, a crazy, like he could start doing some, like Christian Bale roles, like American Psycho or The Machinist or some things like that. I could see him fitting right into that type of role and just absolutely knocking it out of the park. That's how good I think this guy is, especially from just seeing Pennywise, because, and it's a scary ass clown. So you're watching a scary ass clown, and it's hard to be focusing on, like, the acting prowess that you're seeing during that time because you're watching a scary ass clown. But I think someone could have done it, and a lot of people could have been like, "This is dumb." Like, it would have been easy to really fail in this type of role, and he knocked it out of the park.
I mean, I will say for me, because I remember when they first announced this and they showed the first still, because we they've been remaking Terminator and Alien and RoboCop and just like all these movies they keep fucking failing at. Yes, even Alien Covenant, you're not a good movie. Sorry, but so when they announced that they were doing this, I kind of went, oh god, really? Like, how good can it really be? And I saw that first still of Pennywise. It was like when I was talking shit about Heath Ledger being the Joker. I heard him laugh for the first time. I went, oh, I apologize. I was completely fucking wrong. Dude, as far as I'm concerned, I haven't even seen the movie, but fuck it, let him be the Joker. At this point, he'll be better than Jared Leto. I mean, shit, being a scary clown. I mean, that was always, as a kid, why I loved the Joker so much, is because Mark Hamill, even in Batman animated series, like, the Joker would be funny at points, but you always knew that he was just, a half a second from just turning to just the biggest, becoming that incredible sociopath. And the one clip I did see is the scene you talked about at the beginning, is when the kid with the sailboat, you just see Pennywise peek up from the sewer, and just that smile he had, I was like, god damn it, kid. I'm like, turn the other way, count your losses, you'll get another sailboat. And of course the kid's like, sailboat, clown, sure. And it just, oh god damn it, creeps me out. Before we get to your final thoughts, I mean, were there any complaints about it? Was there anything where you went, that's kind of dumb? Or
I mean, while I was watching it, I think some of the scares kind of get they you can kind of predict them coming. So, but in a movie theater experience, it was really hard to focus on anything but the tension in the room during a lot of these things. And there were some genuinely good frightening moments, and I saw it in a packed theater, and I can't stress enough how surprised I was how funny it was. I mean, the whole theater was like cracking up at these kids, and during this horrifying story. So I mean, yeah, I mean, thinking back, I walked out of it, and I walk out of most movies now just thinking about what was wrong with the movie more than what was good, just because I've seen so many movies now, and I go to the theater pretty much every week. But I walked out of this movie and I was just I had a great time. I was scared, I felt tense, but I was laughing throughout the whole thing. And normally with a movie like this, if you look at the runtime, it's 2 hours and 15 minutes. I thought it soared by. I thought it. Really? Yeah. I when it was over, I was I knew it was a long movie, and I was oh man, this movie's probably gonna be feel pretty long. And it got over, and I was oh man, it's already been over 2 hours. That's crazy. So it definitely wasn't too long, at least in the movie theater experience that I had. I thought it. I thought everything that was in it was was good, and I'm sure people that were fans of the book, I haven't read the book, but that's a big ass book, so I'm sure if they didn't make it over 2 hours, they were gonna be cutting out a ton of stuff, and Stephen King purists would probably pick it apart. So I can't speak for that audience, the people that read the book and are big Stephen King fans, but for me as just a fan of movies and wanting to go have a good time, this was awesome. This is one of my favorite movies of the year,
wow,
for sure. Days later, I was man, I could go see that again. I could go watch that again this week, and I would want to go into another packed crowd and see how they react, because it's just fun to see everybody reacting to this movie.
Okay, dude, what are you giving it?
Yeah, I'm honestly, I'm on this kick right now where I don't want to give anything a fan-fucking-tastic until it's that was better than Baby Driver this year.
Oh, fair.
Which I don't know will happen, but dude, this is an A+. It's an A+, and it's gonna be in my list at the end of the year. This is an awesome movie. It's a great time if you can handle how fucking scary it can be.
So apparently I will give the screen I'll give the everyone involved credit because they clearly were smart and realized you have to put this into, like, you have to split this up because I remember the book being really fucking long, and so apparently so you know what, spoiler if you haven't seen it, turn off now, but I heard that there's an after credits thing. Like, is that pretty cool, or
it just like sets up for the next one, basically. Yeah.
But were you pumped after kind of seeing like what they kind of tease you with, or were you kind of just like, like?
It was probably just, it wasn't necessarily for me, just because it was probably like people that were big fans of the TV movie that originally came out or the book itself, and they know what plays out, so they were probably excited to see. It didn't like I didn't like really get what was
Okay,
to come,
fair.
but yeah.
So they've already announced Chapter 2. Apparently,
Right.
they're trying to get that shit out by like late 2019. So
Yeah.
I mean, they're smart. They're
Yeah.
like, let's get on this.
Well,
shit.
they'll probably, I mean, if they're smart, they'll have it come out by Halloween 2019. I'm so shocked that this came out in September and not Halloween, but we'll get Jigsaw for Halloween. It'll just be a gore fest.
Well, I just got really depressed because I'm on IMDb with the It page up, and the It banner
Yeah.
is on there.
Yeah.
And so
Did you
my
did you
cursor,
did you go on the balloon?
Yeah, my cursor actually hit the balloon. And you see this creepy fucking face of Pennywise. I'm like, oh great, wonderful. Like,
Oh, that's
I was,
great.
I was feeling really relaxed, and my heartbeat is up. It's like, goddamn clown. I swear to God, you son of a bitch. But fucking clowns. Okay, swear to God. But guys, thank you so much for listening. What did you think of it? I have not heard any of my my friends I've talked to have all said like they just fucking love this movie so much, and I mean I have not heard a bad review about it. So I'm curious to hear people's thoughts on it. So guys, let us know what you thought in the comments below. Thank you so much for listening. We're just continuing to grow in views and subscribers, and we really appreciate it. You can follow yours truly on the Twitter at JHunterRealPineapple. Follow Scott on Twitter at Nearman1st. You can follow Colin on Twitter at
The Real O'Neill.
And guys, subscribe to us on iTunes, Podbean, SoundCloud, and Google Music now. Guys, thanks so much for listening. We'll have reviews up this weekend for Mother, which I'm hearing mixed things on, so I'm curious what I'm going to think about that. So we'll have a review up for Mother, for Kingsman, The Golden Circle. God help me, I hope that's good. And we'll have a review up for The Big Sick as well. And I'm going to torture myself, I think probably tomorrow night, and I'll have a review up for Home Again, the classic Reese Witherspoon movie. God help me. Probably up Wednesday morning. Guys, thank you so much for listening. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye, guys.